Warning. The following content is intended for immature audiences only. The opinions of these two fine gentlemen should not be taken seriously at all.
The JTS 51 Podcast. Introducing your hosts, JT and Sai.
Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the JTS 51 podcast. Introducing myself, my name is JT, and my colleague, as always, my co-host, Sai. Sai, how you doing, mate?
Yes, not too bad, not too bad. You remember me this week, yeah?
I did remember you this week. I made a point of it, to be honest, after last week.
You wrote my name down.
It's on my hand, yes, on my hand. Nah, yeah. All good, mate, all good, yeah. How you doing? How have you been this week? All good?
Yeah, it's been a funny old week, actually, but yeah, we're getting there, eh? Another week down.
100%, mate. Oh, it's been a pretty mad week, to say the least. Personally, got a new job, which has been crazy, and I've also been a part of a wedding which lasted 7 days, mate. 7 days. It's crazy
So
stuff.
let's hear about the new job piece first.
Yeah,
how's that
mate.
going?
So for our listeners, me and Sai used to work together. We worked together for about a year, and then I moved on to a new job in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's just been crazy getting used to it. But I've got a funny story to tell, mate. And this kind of ties into our previous podcast, right? You know those moments where you're not meant to laugh because it's inappropriate at work. So it was a big meeting, right, on Teams. Everyone's on Teams, right? Like the whole world is on Teams now. That's the best way of communication at work. So yep. we had a massive meeting on Teams. I think it was a lot of people from the UK and a lot of people from the US. So it was a late meeting. It was going to be about 2 hours. It was one of our kind of senior directors, vice presidents, just basically talking to us about the company and all that kind of stuff, the progress of the company and all that. Anyway, meeting starts, get a notification on Outlook to say, okay, join. I'm like, cool.
Yep.
Click on join. And then, you know, everyone's got the cameras off. Everyone's a bit camera shy except the people that actually present.
It's a camera off meeting, is it? Because I was going to say, usually when you have these big team meetings, and in some places they insist on cameras on. So when it's one of those long, like hour and a half, 2 hour meetings, you're like, right, who can go the longest without picking their nose, just screaming at a kid, punching your cat off the desk. It's one of those.
Exactly. Yeah. No, exactly that, mate. Honestly, and I think with these kind of ones, it's not a lot of participation with the members. So it's just about you're kind of like, you know, presenting to the whole business kind of thing. So all the employees are logged in, and literally, I think there was about 70 or 80 people on there, and I would say about 50 of them didn't have their cameras on mute as well. So all good. So, you know, they're just listening in. They're doing whatever they want in the background. You know, they don't care. They're not on camera. So, anywho, so we're joining the lobby, right? We're in Teams. People are slowly filtering in, and we get to about 60, 70 people, I believe. And everyone's got their mics off, like I said, right? So, you know, it's all dead silent apart from the presenters, except this one American guy, right? I could tell he's American because it was so funny. So it's all silent, right? You got the presenter saying, "Welcome everyone. Yep, we're just going to wait a few minutes, let people come in." We're like, "All right, cool. Next thing I hear is, and I'm going to try and reenact this as good as I can. It's all silent. Then next thing you hear is, oh. Like,
I don't even know what that was. It's hilarious.
That's what I heard. I swear to God, it was the funniest thing. I was in tears, mate. Honestly, I was in absolute tears. I didn't know whether it sounded like someone burped, then farted, and then groaned, all in the space of 2 seconds. It was that bad, and I was just like, what the hell just happened? Like, what was that noise? And then I was on Teams trying to talk to my teammates and be like, did anyone hear that? They're like, yeah, what the fuck was that? I was like, oh, I have no idea, mate. That's what, honestly, the only reason why I knew it was American was someone then apologized in an American accent. So I'm guessing it was that person.
Oh, who would do that? Because the thing is, right, if you've just done that, you've got away with it. The second you apologise, even if you're on mute, it flashes up and everybody
exactly.
knows.
So that guy 100% outed himself. It was so funny. I was like, you could have just kept quiet. You could have been anonymous. You didn't have to say sorry. Oh, mate. But I don't know if it's one of those ones where, you know, Teams, if you got the speaker view, whoever's talking, their name pops up and their image comes up. So I'm not sure if that guy got he got nervous thinking, oh my God, my mic is on it's not on mute. Bloody hell, I better say something. So yeah, it was just, I mean, sorry, let's do it again. Oh, that's what it was. Honestly, I couldn't
What a
believe
way
it.
to start a meeting. That's an icebreaker, yeah.
It broke the ice straight away, mate. Honestly, and there I am, right? I'm new in the company, and I'm just like, bloody hell, this is a big meeting, isn't it? God. And then that's the first thing I hear, and oh, mate, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. Luckily I was at home. If I was in the office, I don't know what I was going to do, mate. Honestly, I would have lost it so badly. But oh man, it was so funny.
I assume the meeting was about some good news, because if that was bad news, that would have been a terrible start. You know, he's about to announce 50% layoffs across the board with a. I'd
probably be throwing up on the mic
seriously after that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, talking about right. I've got to announce some bad news, guys. I'm really shitting myself before this meeting.
No, it was so funny. Honestly, I couldn't wait to tell you the story, mate. Honestly, it was so bad. But now, with these kind of meetings, the way the company is, they're just growing and growing and growing. So it's all good news every single month. So yeah, Joe would just say like, you know, our numbers are way higher than we expected. Well done, team. Blah blah blah. So yeah, it was really funny, mate. Honestly.
I assume it wasn't the host of this meeting. It was just some random guy.
Absolutely
That just
not,
dialed,
mate. No, some random dude from the US that dialed in, and I don't know what his level was. I can't remember his name either. I don't know if he was like a senior or if he was like a junior or an executive, or it was just flipping hilarious, mate.
Imagine
Honestly,
like you. It's been in the company like a week, and that's his introduction to the business.
If he was new, he'd have to tend his resignation the next day. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I can't do this. I can't deal with this. Oh my god! But he's just like, sorry guys, and then you put the mic on mute. It was, oh my god, it was incredible, mate.
We ain't gonna do that. It reminds me of that story. Oh, do you remember the one from a few years back? I think it was during lockdown when the guy was, I don't remember it. He was doing this remote court appearance, and his daughter had left this cat thing, Snapchat thing on. Do you remember that story? And so,
he couldn't get the filter off.
Yes, so he's in this meeting in court. Wow, they couldn't get the camera right, and he's saying to them, "Yeah, we could just proceed." And the judge is like, "No, creasing up. You know, we can't do this."
I think the judge was like, "Oh, you know, turn that off. You're doing this on purpose." He's like, "What's going on? What's wrong?" He's got the cat.
He can't see himself.
No. He's like, "What's wrong?" And they're like, "Are you taking the piss?" It's so funny, man. Oh my word. Nah, you know what? Teams is dangerous, man. It's brilliant, but it's dangerous. I remember. Sorry, you would remember this. We had a Teams meeting, and obviously someone we know very well. He was presenting, wasn't he? And after that half an hour,
yeah, go on, tell it.
So very serious meeting, right? And presented the business. I think there was about 15 people on the call, 15, 20 people on the call, and basically does the whole meeting.
Just one sec, just before you finish the story. Yeah, so it was a serious meeting, but also we had the director of operations in there, a couple of managers in there. You know, this wasn't just low level guys. This was
wasn't a team catch up. This was a presentation. Do you know what I mean? And oh, bless him, man. At the end of the meeting, right? You normally no one really prepares how to say bye, and it's usually awkward bye, isn't it? Like, does anyone have any questions? And then no one replies for like 20 seconds, and then they're like, well, okay, we'll just
tumbleweeds.
We'll turn off. Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. No one wants to participate. Everyone's on mute again, you know what I mean? So, I feel so bad for this guy. So he ended the meeting by saying, instead of saying, "See you later, guys," he said, "See you later, gays." And he
No, and me and you got straight on the like called to each other.
I was like, "Sorry, did you hear that?" And you're like, "Oh my god, did he actually say that?" I was like, "Yeah, mate." Oh, embarrassment. And then and then he had to. I don't know what he did. He basically just had to cover it up and say, "Oh, guys, see you later, guys." See you later, gays.
I was thinking,
guys. Yeah.
But I was thinking, I wonder what two words he was thinking, because that usually happens when you're thinking of two words and you're saying them quickly, so they sort of blend together. I do that. So he was clearly trying to say "see you later, guys," and something with an A in it at the same time.
That's right. I don't know if he was thinking lads. I don't know if he was thinking guys. I don't know what he was going to say, mate. But yeah, gays. See you later, gays. Like that. Like you said, we got the senior directors in the meeting. We've got managers of every category in the meeting, and that's the worst. And I got to say, this guy was new. He was new to the role as well. It wasn't like he was like there for years so he could play it off. He was brand new. He was trying to impress. Oh mate, that's the worst way to end the meeting. Oh,
and the
brilliant.
thing is, it catches it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Everybody off guard, and everybody's just like your guy at your new place. You're not sure. Did I hear what I just heard?
100%, mate.
Or was this just 100%. Me just thinking of my mind was drifting? Oh, did he say that?
Oh, you know what? Another random thing I heard, not during that meeting, but I think it was like on my first or second day, right? We were in a Teams meeting again, and again another American, right? And it's all quiet, and I don't know if it's the same guy. It could have been. I'm not saying it was, but it could have been. I think he said something out of context, like, "It's because I slept on my shoulder." Like he said it like that, right? And then it went quiet, and we were just like, yeah, that's what my reaction. I was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't get the context. He's speaking to someone, obviously something's happened to him, and he just shouted out, and it's really quiet in the meeting. Everyone's waiting to join, and in an American accent, I don't want to. I might put the American accent on. It might be terrible. But
I think you should do it. Go for it. Can't be worse than your India one a few weeks back.
Good. You know what? People gonna be saying that to me. It was something like, it's because I slept on my shoulder, like that. It was just like blared out context.
Who the hell is this?
I don't know, mate. Honestly, it was out of context. Like I just for an hour I was thinking, in what context did he say that? What did he mean? Obviously, I don't know, mate. Absolutely out of context makes it even more ridiculous. I needed to know more, but I didn't know who it was. So it's just, Teams is dangerous. God damn it. Oh.
I'll tell you. That reminds me. Just before I tell you this one about my son, going back to another one that I saw on the internet. Did you see the teacher one? Again, you might not have seen this, but it was doing the rounds on YouTube. I don't know, a year or so ago.
Yep.
Where it was one of those online learning classes, and there's the teacher, and then there's 4 or 5 other kids in there, right? Mm-hmm. And I think she did the same. She coughed and farted, tried to hide it, and then all the other kids just started laughing at once. Like, Miss, was that you? And she just completely lost it.
Oh, I saw that as well, mate. Honestly, I think she tried to play it off, didn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
all the kids were having absolutely none of it. But I'll tell you one about accents. And how dangerous Teams is. So I've mentioned my son before. At the time, maybe he was like 6 or 7 like that. And he was playing around with accents, right? And he was doing an online call with his teacher as well. She was Scottish, okay? Of course, he wasn't on mute because they were all answering back and stuff. But she came on and she had the camera looking up at her. So it was almost like a nostril shot. Right?
Oh, God.
So the teacher starts talking and my son goes, "I can see right up your nose, miss," in a really I mean, I did a bad accent, but you can imagine.
That's fantastic. No, that was really good.
Right?
That
and
was
I
really
instantly
good,
just hit mute. Kind of, I was in frame because I was sort of working from home and he was working next to me. And I just kind of took myself out of frame, hit mute, and just had to laugh for like 20 minutes while I was just teaching him this thing. Oh. But yeah.
Do you know what? That was a weird time because I remember my missus, right? She was teaching during that time, during COVID, right? And it was weird because obviously I stayed out shot wherever, but I'd be doing my work in bed, but I'd peep over every now and then, and she'd have 30 kids on their webcams, and she's teaching a lesson. I thought, this is so surreal. At one point, though, right, this kid interrupted my missus while she was teaching, and she said something like, "Miss, my little brother is hitting me," and then my missus looked at me, put herself on mute, and said, "What the hell am I meant to do about that? What can I do?"
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Why are you being so whiny? I can't do anything about that. Tell him to stop. Oh, then she put herself. She was laughing actually, so she had to literally kind of flick her camera towards the ceiling so she could get the laugh out. She looks at me like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, what the hell?" Like, she goes, "What the hell am I meant to do about that?" And then she quickly composed herself and put it back down to her face. But oh my God, kids, technology, teaching, what a surreal time, mate. Honestly, COVID was just crazy.
There used to be a show when I was younger, and it was something like The Kids Say the Strangest Things, or I can't remember the exact name of it.
Do you know what? I think I remember that.
Yeah, where they would film these children talking about, like, they would ask them questions and then just capture their responses.
That's right. Sometimes,
gold, absolutely gold. They should bring that show back.
Mate, it was either bordering on stupidity or bordering on genius. There was no in between. Honestly, those responses were fantastic. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They got no filter. They just crack on. Oh, fantastic. Kids are
That's the thing
brilliant.
about kids. They will say exactly what they feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain age, like, I'm obviously, Simon, you're a dad, so you must hear it and see it all the time. But kids have literally no filter, mate. Until they're a little bit older, their innocence, like, they would literally say it as they see it. You know what I mean?
So, I guarantee, right, all of my funny stories, for funny saying to sorry, let me rephrase that. Most of my funny stories come from my son. He has got no filter. But also, what he does is his grasp of language is incredible, and his understanding of jokes, right? And ever since a young age, he'll be able to hear a word, take a word, put it into context, but not really grab the whole sentence and how funny he was. Like, I remember.
Right, okay.
Right. So, right, we are very, despite what you hear me saying on this podcast, we are very careful about how we speak around our kids. Yeah, we don't swear. We try not to like argue and fight in front of them, and all that stuff. However, I remember going to pick him up from one of the after school clubs, and they do a handover, and they just tell you how they got on, like, you know, like he was playing with such and such, or he's eaten this food, or he's done this work, or whatever. Just a little handover. I got on really well with this lady, the manager there, and she come over to me, and she was already like, she turned around, she looked at me, and she was already laughing before she'd taken a step towards me. And I was just like, oh no,
here we go,
no,
here we go.
What's going on, right? So
what's happened now?
Yeah. So there was like, so there's a little bit of a walk between where the school is and where they went to the after school club, and they did, what's it called? Like a walking train or something like that, where they sort of all hold hands or walk next to each other so they stay together type thing. Anyway, not sure.
Yeah.
So my son was lagging behind the back, right? And it was a hot day. Okay, to be fair, it was like a really hot day. And she kept going to, come on, we've nearly made it. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can make it, you know, being really over dramatic and stuff like that. And she goes, come on, like, what's wrong? And he just apparently turned around to her and said, I'm sweating my balls out, miss.
Oh my God.
And she was telling me this story. And she was saying that, like, he told me this. She had to, like, look, we can't say that right in front of the other children, whilst trying not to laugh herself. And she told me she was laughing all the way to the place that they had the after school club, right? She had to take herself off. And then obviously she was trying to recount this story to me, not laughing, saying, like, I don't know where he's heard these words. And I'm like, it's not from us.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
He goes to an after school club and there are kids like 5-6 years older than him.
It's a mixed group. It's a mixed group. So
he's clearly picked it up from them.
That is brilliant. Honestly, kids say the funniest things, man. I genuinely believe that as well. Kids say the funniest. They pick it up from the most randomest places as well.
Yeah. But my next thing was obviously we have to make him understand that he can't say these things, because he'll go to school and say these things, and now be a little bit more strict on it. So I had to go, right, you know, what did you say? And he got, I'm sweating my balls out. That story. I'm the same, trying to like keep my face straight. And I said, look, you can't say these words. And it's just like, but what's, you know, like kids, they're inquisitive. But what's wrong with saying that? Well, this reversed the roles, Jay, right?
Yeah.
Right? You're the dad. Your son has just said to a teacher, I'm sweating my balls out, miss. How do you tell him you can't say that, right, when you're laughing and he's just asked you, so what's wrong with saying that?
Do you know, I'd lose it. That's the thing. I am the worst. I can't be the disciplinarian. I will laugh at everything, and then my kids will probably think it's fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. I would be like, some of the stories my missus tells me, my sister tells me. Right, they're both teachers, so like, when they tell me these stories, I laugh, and I always tell them, right, if I was you, I wouldn't be able to deal with it, because I would just be laughing my head off. My sister's like, she got a similar sense of humor to me, so she will lose it as well. And she's told me so many stories over the last like 2 years that she's been teaching, where she's had to try her hardest not to laugh at some of the stupidest things kids have said. So in that situation, honestly, I don't know how I would compose myself. I wouldn't be able to do it, to be honest with you. I swear to God, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just be laughing with him. And that enables the kid to say even more, which is even worse. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, what would I say? Like, little Timmy, look, you can't do that. You can't say that. Well, but why, Dad? I don't know. It's a bit rude. You can't say that. See, I can't even do it, and it's just me and you. Ah, terrible.
No hope.
I'm shocking.
No hope.
There's no hope for me, mate. Honestly, I'd just be laughing at the stupidest shit all the time.
But in schools, right? So they record all of these things, or they do at my kids' school anyway.
Yeah.
So when they come out and they say, they keep a log of this random stuff that these kids come out with, and if it's something serious, they report. If not, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But you can. Luckily enough, this wasn't in the school. It's an after-school club, so they sort of laughed at it and brushed it off. But you're a teacher in a school. This kid has just said this to you. Okay, you can deal with it. But if you have to write this up in a little log, so little Jimmy today said he's sweating my balls out with.
I think it's just the fact that it catches you unaware. That's the thing, isn't it? You're not prepared for this stuff.
It so does. It really does. Oh, it was like my daughter. She told me the joke. Now, I think most people have heard of this joke, but it caught us so off guard that we were driving somewhere. I forget where we were going. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now we were being silly. I think it. Yeah, we were being silly and just trying to make jokes out of things we could see around us, right? Just like, like you'd see a tree, and there would be all the silly dad jokes, like, you'd see a tree, and it would be like, leave it alone, yeah. And you'd look at a car.
Dad jokes are the best,
right? And you'd look at a car, and you'd be like, that car looks tired. In reference to the wheels and stuff, right? So there's loads of silly stuff like that, right? And we were doing this for like maybe 10 minutes, just trying to occupy the kids because they get bored when they, are we there yet? The old joke. Yeah. Anyway, my daughter, who again was at this after-school club, right, and again was mixing with kids like much older than her. She just came up with the story of what do you call a zoo with one dog in it, right?
Right.
A Shih Tzu. Yeah.
Ah,
right? Now,
yes.
You've heard of that joke. But this was from my daughter that was 6 at the time. We just spent 10 minutes doing really rubbish pun jokes. And she just came out with that, right?
Mate, there's two things. There's two things there, sir. Sorry. One, right, that is a great joke. Number two, she's too young to be... Yes, yeah, absolutely. Right? That is a fantastic... Number two, she's too young to be saying that joke. And now... I would lose it again. Like, if I heard that for the first time from my daughter, who's 6, right, mate, I would be in hysterics because, like I just said, 1, that's a great joke. 2, she's too young to say it. So, where the hell do you draw the line? What do you even say to her?
I know. Do you know what I mean? But the funniest part of that was a funny joke, right? It caught us for me and my missus for like 25 minutes. We could not stop laughing to the point where she was crying with laughter.
Brilliant.
We had to pull over because she couldn't see the road.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. You'd tear up because that's a great joke.
My daughter was so young. She didn't even understand the joke. She had no clue what she was saying. Cause do you know what she said? Yeah. I don't know. It's just not a very good... Right, we tried to get to the root of what she thought the joke was. She didn't have a clue. Yeah. She just heard it from somebody else that was much older. Just thought it was funny. We were doing jokes. She told that joke. It's
caught you unaware. That's what I'm saying. It's caught you unaware, and there you go. And she doesn't, for the poor girl, she doesn't understand it. But number three, it's a fact. It's a factual joke. A Shih Tzu is a breed of dog, so you can't even tell her off because that could come up in natural conversation. Do you know what I mean?
But I had never heard that joke before that day. So it wasn't like now I've just recounted it to you and you're like, yeah, I've heard this before. It was the first time I heard it, and from her.
Fantastic joke.
Unaware, so I was just like, oh God, here we go.
Fantastic joke. Honestly, dad jokes are the best. I don't care what anyone says. They will make me laugh every single day of the week. The worse the joke, the funnier it is for me. So...
There's some jokes that I always do. Come on, have you got any dad joke? I know you're not a dad, but are there any dad jokes that you use that you
on the
regularly
spot
pull out the bag?
Do you know what it is? Dad jokes they're the best ones or the worst ones. Honestly, I'm on the spot now, but I was going to say at the top of my head.
I'll kick one off. My favourite is whenever we go shopping, and we walk past the mushrooms. I always have to say, we better not put those in now, because otherwise there won't be mushroom for anything else.
Oh God!
Yes.
See that's good.
Every time
works every time. I got a shit one. What'd you call a deer with no eyes? No idea.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Do you know what I mean?
We should have a session of
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes, yeah, 100%. I've got some corkers, but I was just talking. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know what it is with me? Right, it's basically like telling jokes isn't great, but I normally excel when like observational comedy. So on the fly, if I see something or if someone says something, like I'll say something funny like that. When it comes to actually telling jokes, I'm terrible, man. My memory is so shit. Honestly, you probably know that now.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you, mate. It's a funny thing because you look at all the stuff that you and I have spoken about, even in these few little episodes that we've done. If we had a proper comedy writer, you could script this out and you would have an hour show, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, same as you. Timing, hopeless. Recounting this jokes, hopeless. Punchlines, hopeless. Stumbling
and
over my own words, hopeless.
And that's the reason we're doing a podcast. All the qualities you want for our beautiful listeners. This is what you got to look forward to, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Bloody hell. No, it's just dad joke. Honestly, dad jokes are the best. Like, it's like my favourite films, right? If I recount back, and obviously I think we'll do an episode on this, right? Like favourite TV shows, movies and stuff like that. Is stuff like, The Naked Gun, Airplane, Leslie Nielsen, like his.
Oh yeah.
My favourite movie of all time is one of his movies. Well, again, we'll save this for another future episode, but that kind of humour for me, hands down the best. Like, honestly, the best. And stuff like The Office, like we spoke about The Office as well, kind of deadpan, kind of mockumentary style, like that's fantastic as well. But but saying that, dad jokes, man, honestly, they're phenomenal. Yeah. I love dad jokes.
I think maybe next time or the time after we should try and have a little silly joke off.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll prepare a little bit. We'll trawl the internet, find some of the best ones. We'll ask our mates, and we'll that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So yeah. Anyways, any more fun stories from your work?
Do you know what? There was one story. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this one day, but if he does, it's fine. He's a chap, right? So we went out. So I started on day one, right? Day two, I was invited to a team social. So we were after work. We were all going to go out. Obviously, I'm brand new, so a little bit nervous, meeting new people. People telling me names, I'm forgetting them in the next minute. It's really bad,
at least you're not making fart noises down the microphone.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Having a bit of grace and decorum when it comes to this kind of stuff. But yeah,
new employee of the month.
Farty J. There was a team social, so we actually went out for the night, which was great. And this guy, right, he was actually in one of my interviews, so I thought he was a very stern, kind of serious guy. He looks like a serious guy. But the minute we stepped out of work, oh my God, mate, he was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And I found out he's the joker of the group. Like, when it comes to work, he's excellent. He's very good. He's brilliant at helping people. Bloody hell, just drop something. That's happened again. Why does this happen again? Oh,
sorry,
my God.
For you guys listening, every week Jay drops something.
If it's not my mouse,
falls off the back of his couch.
Bloody hell.
What
honestly,
he's doing.
I'm not even moving. You can see I'm not even moving. This is terrible. Like, last week I dropped my mouse. The week before that I dropped my light. The week before that I dropped my phone. Listeners, I'm so sorry. I try and keep my shit together, but this wasn't even my fault this time. But yeah, sorry. I was saying.
Do you want to just sellotape your pen to your hand?
Do you know what? I might have to, mate. Honestly, this is terrible. I'm normally betting this. Bloody hell. Yeah, I was saying. So this guy, at work, he's a nice guy, great trainer. Honestly, great trainer. The only thing is, he's got a very strong accent, right? And speaks great English as well. What threw me off was when we actually started talking about work on my third or fourth day, where we're going through the category and all that kind of stuff, and he's teaching me about the products and that. Now he's got a funny way of saying cans, CANS, right? And with his strong accent, he kept saying, "Yeah, this is the thing." He kept saying "cunts" like that.
Oh no!
Now, yeah. So every time I speak to him, I'm thinking he's saying "cunts." I'm like, why are you getting so upset? But he's actually saying cans. It's just the way he says it. Cunts. We need to focus on the cunts. Like, I was like, oh my God.
You what?
You know? Yeah, exactly, mate. Honestly, his accent is that strong that whenever he says focus or cans, like, he says it with such a strong accent. He said, fuck us cunts. Like that. And mate, it's throwing me off. I'm like we've said in this podcast before, I am terrible at this stuff, right? I will laugh. Like, it's so bad. But like, when you're new and you're trying to make a good impression, you're trying to listen to everything like with real purpose, so it goes in your head. I can't do it, mate. Honestly, like, when you said that the first time,
no,
anything you said for the next couple of minutes was a complete like void. I didn't know. I wasn't listening. All I could think was, "Oh my god, this guy he's saying cunts. He's saying cunts.
He wants to fuck us in the cunts.
Fuck us the cunts. You know what I mean? Fuck the cunts. Oh my god, mate. It's you know, we do everything. Big cunts, small cunts, all type of cunts. It was. Do you know what I mean?
So do I every day.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. In my head, can you imagine where my head is going at this point? You can't even blame me. Oh my god!
Do you do that thing where you look around the room and just hope you're not the only one laughing?
Oh, absolutely! Oh, absolutely! Oh, sorry. This is gonna sound so bad, but if anyone, so I was at a wedding, right? Just to talk about accents and things where you're not meant to laugh, right? I was at a wedding and we're at the temple. Usually, right, there's one of the priests. He's doing a prayer, and it's more of like a kind of like a singing prayer, like it's meant to be really nice, peaceful, right? Something happened to the priest that day because when we sat down and the wedding's going on, his voice was breaking up, right? And poor guy, he must have had a cold, but there was obviously no one else to do it. Now, sorry, when I say that this was one of the funniest moments of my life because he started singing in the first like 10 seconds, right? And it was okay, right? But then after that, it's like his voice just gave way. So, and he was singing the prayer like that. And
oh, brilliant.
Mate, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my God, like what the hell? I look around and no one's taking notice of this. I'm the only person that's like thinking this is funny, right? He carries on for another 30 seconds and it breaks again. This time, I look around me, I've got my brother-in-law looking at me and he's saying, did you just hear what I heard? And I'm like, yeah, but we're talking with our eyes. We're not even actually speaking at this point. Yeah. And he's giving me a look and that's it, mate. I lost it, like, right? And then I look to my left. I've got relatives on to my left and they're all saying the same thing. They're looking at me. They're looking around thinking, has anyone else heard this? Is it just me? And when I saw their faces and when I saw my brother-in-law's face and my you know, my wife's cousins' faces, I lost it, mate. I was in tears. I was actually crying. I was actually crying. And then my brother-in-law, he was about to lose it because he saw me laughing. So he grabs, he had a little program in his hand. He was pretending he's reading that. He's really trying hard to distract himself, right? And we're sitting in a position where people can see us.
Yeah.
So, and there's about 100 people there. So yeah, they're looking at me and him. And I'm looking at him, right? The minute I know he's focusing so hard to not laugh by looking at this program so hard, and he's holding it in. I can see his lips, like he's holding his lips within his teeth. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, right? And then the minute he kind of looks up at me like that, right? He's just peeking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, bruv, I know you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh now, trust me. And he lost it as well. And then we ended up both like trying to cover our faces up. And then I'm trying to look at something just to keep me distracted, right, from what's going on. The priest is really struggling with his voice. I've never heard anything like it, right? And there's another half an hour of this, so I was in trouble, mate. I was in tears, honestly. So I was crying, like I was holding in the laughter so hard. I was crying, mate. I was literally. People were probably looking at me thinking I'm getting sentimental because the ceremony.
Yeah. He's emotionally invested.
Yeah, like, oh, look how, like, you know, look at JT, like, oh my God, he must be loving this so much, like the beautifulness of the ceremony he's getting to him, wedding season, do you know what I mean? No, I'm laughing because the priest's voice is breaking up like he just hit puberty. That's what it is. Oh my God, man, it was so funny, Si. You shouldn't be laughing at a religious place like that, you know what I mean? It was just brilliant, honestly. I was crying, Si. I was crying, mate. That's how funny it was.
Did the priest notice though, or did he just like look up and just like think that everyone was crying?
The priest knew exactly what was going on, and he was just like, "I just have to continue. There's no one else to do this. There's half an hour of this, mate. So I just need to do this." And his voice was gone. His voice was gone, mate. Like I've never heard anything like this in my life. That's how bad it was. So fair play to him. Respect to him, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he carried on.
I was thinking of it the other way. I was thinking maybe he was so like connected, like sort of rolled up in what he was doing. He looked up, saw you lot with little tears in your eyes, thought, yeah, I got away with that.
Not
went backstage,
at all, mate.
Nailed it. Chest bumped the other priest in the back.
High fives. He's like, yeah.
Don't you worry, got that. Yeah.
Got that, hit that out the park.
Yeah, no.
Boom, mic drop.
Nobody noticed.
He was, oh mate, it was. I don't. You know what? To be honest, I think he knew it was quite bad, but bless him, man. Like he genuinely carried on like a soldier the whole time. But when he finished, he must have thought, bloody hell, like I know that was terrible, but I got through it. So fair play to him. He carried on like a man. Finished it off. Beautiful ceremony. Like it was amazing. Apart from that, and apart from people thinking I was being emotional because I was holding it back the tears, that was too funny. And it's one of those situations where you went again. I think we refer back to this in our podcast. You're not meant to laugh at these kind of things, but when I'm looking to my left, when I'm looking to my right, and people are looking at me, and they're thinking the exact same thing. Like I said, like we were literally talking to each other with our eyes. So, and we just couldn't hold it in. I had a guy who was sitting next to me. He's old. He's about 60 plus. Even he was laughing. Like we're all trying to hold it. So we're all looking down at we're sitting on the floor. So we're looking down at the floor. I'm trying to distract myself. I'm looking at the bride, the groom. Distract myself. No. All right. So there's a little baby walking around, like crawling around. I'm trying to look at him. And it wasn't happening, mate. Honestly, I was just losing it. I was just like, the minute I look at someone else and they're in the same boat as me, I was off. I couldn't hold it in, mate. Like I was wiping my eyes every 10 seconds because I'm holding in the laughter, but my eyes wouldn't allow it. And there was one point where there was a bit quiet in the hymn, right? And I let out a laugh. I genuinely let out a laugh, and then I thought, oh God, oh fuck, like shit, I've like damn, like oh shit, like, I had it, like I was holding it in, but I had to breathe at the same time, and I let it out, and then I was like, oh God, and then I pretended I was yawning. Do you know what I mean? I had to do something.
Yep, and there's you going, and nailed it, got away with that, then everybody just like, no, he didn't.
Oh, like what the hell? Yeah.
They're like, when you're laughing, as I was saying earlier, when you're laughing in a situation that shouldn't be funny, and you're sort of looking around the room, like when nobody else is sniggering, you're like, okay, it's
That's
just
right.
me.
It's
I'm
just
the
me,
kid
right?
in the room.
Absolutely.
As soon as you see someone else,
mate,
you're like, I'm
spot
gone. I'm gone.
I was fully aware that I was the only one laughing at that point. I was like, okay, it's just me. Oh, that's fine. Perfect. Okay, I could sort this out, right? That's fine. You know what I mean? I couldn't even pull out my phone, right? I was literally like, I was trying to think, oh, should I put my phone? Should I look at something? Like, what should I do? And then I look around and everyone else is seeing like hearing the same thing and seeing the same thing as me, and then lost it, mate, honestly. And after I spoke to everyone was just like, mate, I lost it. It was so funny, man, honestly. But again, one of those situations where you're not meant to laugh.
Yeah, I do love the thought of just not even I do love the fact that the priest pushed on through.
Yeah,
like a champ.
100%.
Climb those steps like Rocky. Just I don't care. I get to the finish line.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Right. He knew. Oh, I'm dropping stuff now.
Oh, it's contagious. Yes.
Yeah. It's you, mate. I'm never this clumsy. I'm just not. There we go. Fixed. Just broke the arm of my chair.
Yeah. Oh no. But this is, listeners, this is what you're going to get. Raw, unedited, pure filth, mate. You know what I mean? We're not cutting that out. We're keeping that in.
Oh, no. I'll be more careful in future.
No, that's all good, mate. It's all good. No, it was honestly really, really, really funny. I just couldn't believe what was going on. And at the end of the ceremony, I went up to everyone like, did you hear that? They're like, yeah. And then we started laughing again.
Do you know, that's what I love about live performances. This is why I think I don't like boy bands and girl bands and all this pop X Factor rubbish, right?
Right.
If a band's going to screw up, I want them to screw up and push. Like when you see a lot of these old rock bands, and like, you know, the singer's not quite there anymore, and the drummer can't quite keep pace anymore, and they could get through their set, but there's like one or two songs that sort of push their voice, or like, you know, a little bit sped up, and they just sort of crumble at the top notes. I prefer that. Yeah, that shows it's raw. They're ready. You know, I don't like all this pre-rehearsed, you know, auto-tuning stuff like that. No, I want to hear 5 cracking songs, and then one where they fall on their ass to prove they're human, and then carry on.
Boom, you know what I mean?
See.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not manufactured. It's not edited. It's just pure talent, pure voice. But you know what it is? I think every day, like every kind of new artist out there is using auto-tune, and that kind of masks their voice or inability to hit some notes or stuff like that. Whereas imagine, I shouldn't really be saying this, I'm going to go to hell, but imagine the priest had auto-tune. He would have been all right.
He would sound like Will I Am. That would have been amazing. It's just like the Will.i.am version of prayer.
God. I'm going to hell, man. Jeez. I shouldn't even say that, my bloody hell.
Oh,
It was
that is
honestly,
hilarious. That's
honestly,
brilliant.
it was really funny. It was really funny. Jesus, man.
Out comes Britney Spears to do a breakdown rap in the corner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just in the break. Yeah, the beat changes up. Boom, start rapping.
Oh, speaking of, you were saying about misheard stuff.
Oh yeah,
Going back to that. I had something fairly similar, not quite as good as "fuck the cunts," but similar.
Fuck us the cunts.
Right. Yeah. No, whatever it was.
Oh,
but we had one of the old companies I worked for. I think I mentioned before, we had folks that come over from Japan in there, right?
Oh yeah. That's right.
Right. So same or similar setup to yourself, right? In a big meeting, directors and stuff in there. Everyone should be taking these guys seriously because they're the owners of the business, right? Mm-hmm. All very well and good until one chap stood up and started talking. Instead of saying vendors,
right,
he was saying benders.
Oh
right?
No! Oh my God!
Right. So again, PowerPoint presentation. So this year we're bringing in a lot of benders. We searched the market. We've got a lot of benders that we're working with this year.
Brilliant!
Oh, no,
we're increasing the amount of benders.
Yeah, I know. Right, and we're going to categorise these benders from highest performance to worst.
So I don't. Where did you? I don't know, man. Pegging benders. Like this is. I'm connecting the dots here, mate. Where did you work? My God!
Yeah, I think
you know what it is.
I think it's just a lot of these. Oh, so no, sorry. I was going to say, I think it's because a lot of these meetings end up being quite dry. Yeah,
that's right.
You're sitting in them for an hour and a half, and as soon as somebody says anything remotely funny, right? Yeah, it snaps you out of. It just snaps you out of it, and you're like, "What are we doing with benders?"
No, this is the thing. You know what it is? These meetings, presentations, tutorials, training sessions, whatever you want to call them, we know they're going to be boring, right? And you're literally craving for any little thing to entertain you. So even the smallest mistake will set me off. Honestly, man, I'm so immature. I'm so immature, man. Honestly, that would have had me in hysterics. That definitely would have had me in hysterics.
And I know that everybody else in that room was thinking the same thing, but
yeah, of course.
They were just keeping it under wraps. And I was doing my best, but you couldn't not.
Nah, absolutely.
You just couldn't not.
Do you know what I really find funny? I think I don't know if this is a thing or not, but I find like women can keep their composure more than men when it comes to that kind of stuff. And the reason why I say this is because every single meeting that I had in one of my other companies, right? I don't know if men are. Again, I'm not trying to generalize, but I don't know if men are more immature than women. I think women have more composure.
100% we are.
Yeah,
There's no question.
There's
no question, Jay.
The thing is, I remember like there's been a few times where in one of my previous workplaces, right, my manager, she lovely lady, right, I still talk to her to this day, like I catch up with her every now and then. But she had a really funny sense of humor. But when it came to stuff like that, small mistakes in presentations or someone has said something ridiculously funny, she would be able to smile but keep a straight face. Whereas if I look at her, I'm gone, mate. I'm in hysterics. I am laughing my head off. Hard to keep composure. But she was really good at that. And then at the end of the meeting, when I speak to her, she would then crack up. Like she would reserve it for the end of the meeting. And I would just be like, how'd you do it? I can't do that. How'd you do that? That's crazy.
It may also be that a lot of this sort of stuff comes out from banter down the pubs. And I don't know how much banter happens in female conversations, but it definitely happens in male conversations.
Absolutely.
And also, blokes, generally, the conversations are a bit more silly and abstract, whereas I don't... Like, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
I haven't played much of what we've done to my missus, right? Very few bits, especially the silly bits. I've just kept those out.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Wise.
Until she listens to it.
Yeah.
And she goes, so what do you guys talk about for hours on end? I'm like, I don't know, just random stuff. So, well, have you started talking about relationships yet? And I'm like, no.
My missus does the same thing, right? So this is ridiculous. So she gives me topics to talk about, right? Because obviously she sees me recording. She knows we're doing our thing. She gets little snippets when we're listening and stuff. When she's listening, sorry. And then she'll be like, oh, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? I'm like, What the hell? I'm not going to talk about that. That's too serious. Like, what the hell do you think we are? We're talking about shit in bins. No. We're talking about beardy weirdos.
We got off to a bad start.
I said, this is what our listeners want. They don't want serious talk. Do you know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't want to talk about that. She's like, yeah, but wouldn't that be interesting? I'm like, no, it wouldn't be interesting at all. Oh my bloody! I was like, I think she's probably like your missus. Like they probably want us to talk about serious stuff, not serious stuff like that, super serious, but like, I know that I'll be struggling to talk about the topic. I'm like, you know what? You just stay there, keep your ideas to yourself. I'm going to talk about shit in bins, okay? And I'm going to talk about here's your tits. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about dead relatives, good. I'm going to do that bit. I'm not going to do the serious stuff. Oh my god.
I know, and this is what I'm saying. I think it's that conversation, because even at work, when you and I we didn't even know each other.
Yeah,
first couple of days in work, we were just talking nonsense, just naturally. Right. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
we weren't talking about relationships.
No, we weren't. Mate.
If we were, it was silly stuff. We weren't talking about kids. If we were, it was like ridiculous
really
things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We weren't saying, "Oh, what about Barbara's relationship with Brian?" No, it's none of that. It was did you see Brian walking around the other day with his pants hanging out?
That's right. Yeah. Or someone. Did you see when Stephen had his shirt between his zipper? Do you know what I mean? That stupid stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? We're not talking about anything else. Like the other day, we were talking about Huel and farts at work. Do you know what I mean? That's the content that all three of our listeners want. God damn it.
Oh, mate! Since we've been talking about fitness and stuff, this week I've been trying to get my sort of eating under control. Okay, which I think I'm there. I think I'm close.
Yeah.
So now I've got to work on the fitness side. Okay. So this week I started. I know you mentioned about going to the gym, right? I used to do like a lot of like running and cycling, so a lot of cardio bits.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've decided, right, I'm going to try and get in shape, properly in shape, do a few weights and stuff. Man alive, do I ache. Until I'm getting old. My legs ache, my back aches, my neck aches.
Do you know what? It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
I rolled out of bed this morning and I was just like, oh God, what have I done? Am I ever going to be able to walk right again? You know those big...
mate? Honestly, it's terrible, man. Honestly.
You know those big bodybuilders you see?
Yeah.
And they got the little pigeon legs, the I forgot leg day guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can see why they forget leg days, because I can't walk up the stairs at the
pain.
I'm just like, no.
Si, do you know the minute? do you know what it is? I think this comes in every guy's life when you feel those aches, man. Do you know what the other day, what I did? I went to football, right? And I go football. As a kid, I used to play 4 or 5 times a week, no problem. Multiple times a day, in fact, right? Got a little bit older, teen years, I started playing maybe 4 times a week, so not a problem. 20s, I was playing 3 times a week, not a problem. Now, I'm playing once a week, right? And I swear to God, the day after, if I'm walking down the stairs, I'm walking down the stairs one stair at a time with both feet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing the usual thing of walking down the stairs as you're, like, absolute walking. I am literally taking one step with my right foot and then putting my left foot on that same step. That's how you know you're getting old, mate. Honestly, I was thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, like a little side shuffle.
Yes. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Si. Oh, my word. So yeah. I found myself doing this the other day and I was like, oh, my God, I am getting old. So basically, I'm walking down the step. So I'll take the step with the right foot on the step. Then my left foot will go on that step, the same step. And I'm doing that, going down the stairs. And I'm thinking to myself, bloody hell, I'm getting old. This is ridiculous.
I know.
As a kid, I would probably skip like 3 steps walking down the stairs. Now I'm walking down the stairs 1 step at a time. This is terrible. Oh, fuck, man.
That's where I am at the minute, okay? This is where I am at the minute, okay? So like I say, all the running, all the cycling, no problem. It's the weights. The weights have killed me.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. There was do you know what, this was quite bad. I think, speaking of like fitness, physical activities, right? I was at the gym, and this is back a few years ago. This is maybe about 5-6 years ago. Me and my mate decided to go to the gym together, which was great because it's one of those where if you don't feel like you're going, don't want to go, you don't want to let your mate down. So it's almost like you're kind of motivating each other. So there were days like I didn't want to go, but my mate wanted to go, and I felt bad like cancelling. So we never actually cancelled on each other. We just thought, all right, you know what, fuck it, get changed, get down to the gym. And there was one time, right, me and my mate were at the gym, and we're on like the bikes together, but he was on a row behind me, I was in front of him. But all across the gym, there's mirrors, right? There's mirrors all one side of the gym. So we're both looking at the mirrors because above the mirrors is TV, so there's like 4 TVs. So they normally got random crap on, BBC One, EastEnders, a documentary, news channel, blah blah blah. So we're both going hard. He's going hard on the bike. I'm going hard on the bike, and we're just like, you know, trying to warm up. At 1 minute, I look up, right, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, "You're right." He goes, he just pointed to his right. He goes, "Look at that guy over there." I'm like, "Okay." And I just took a sip of water at that point, right? And I'm like, what's he pointing at? And there was a guy, bless him, right, a bit older, must be like 50, 60 years old, and he's on the cross trainer, and he's going super hard on the cross trainer, like he's going at a ridiculous pace for himself, right? But his face, he looked like he was in excruciating pain with every single step. And he was making this face, right? He looks like he's straining so hard. And I looked at him, and as I took my sip of water, mate, I couldn't hold it. I blurted out laughing. But what actually happened was I spat my water all over the mirror in front of me. Like, literally, I don't know if you watched wrestling as a kid, but you know how Triple H used to come in and he used to do an entrance where he used to take a sip of water and spit in the air, right? And it created like a mist. I did that, but I done it all on the mirror. And now, at this point, I'm hoping no one looked, because I looked back at my mate and he couldn't believe what I had just done, right? But I genuinely couldn't help it. Like, I took a sip of water at the wrong bloody time, because when I saw this guy's face, like, can you just imagine, he's proper going hard, but his face is like in agony, right? So I spat it all over the mirror in front of me, and then if anyone saw me, right, it looked like I'd done it on purpose, which is terrible, right? Obviously, you don't want to be doing that, and luckily when I turned around, no one saw it, but there was one girl that saw what I just did, and then I was like, oh shit, this looks so bad. I quickly went back, got some tissues and wiped it all off, and it was just like, mate, that was like, honestly, when you're at the gym, right, everyone it's nice, it's a nice gym, right, so everyone encourages each other, like, even if you don't know each other, give each other the nod and all that kind of stuff. But mate, when I saw that, I completely lost it, man. I was like flipping Squirtle, man. I was just squirting the water all over the flipping mirror, man. It was so bad. I felt so bad, but oh man, honestly, there's when it comes to physical stuff, there's always something funny that's going to happen, man.
Well, it is with us guys that don't go to the gym very often. My son would have appreciated your Pokemon reference right then as well.
That's in there for him. I'm glad you knew what I was talking about, buddy.
Yeah, just like there's a few references that I drop into stuff, because I've watched a lot of wasted my youth when I should have been out doing so. Like, I was watching the other day. There's a really good documentary about David Beckham that's just come out on Netflix now.
Oh, Netflix, yeah, it's on my watch list. That's on my watch list, absolutely, yeah.
Really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I appreciated him. I was never into football, but I really appreciated him as a footballer, right? And he, just sort of him going through his story, and, you know, and he was like, he retired. No, let me rewind a little bit. You know, he was playing for Manchester United, called to the England squad, made captain, you know, played for some of the best teams on the planet. Yeah, he
was the golden boy of football.
He was phenomenal. Just looking at his achievements, they really stack up. And he's like, I think he retired at like 38, and I'm just like, oh god, what have I done with my life?
Do you know what? I feel old as well, man. Honestly, when I'm a decent footballer, right? Despite my size, I am actually, like, all my friends know me. Like, I am a very. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I am a good footballer. I've got the skills. I'm deceptively quick with my feet. Like, if anyone knows me, they know my idol is Ronaldo, not Cristiano, but the original Brazilian Ronaldo. That was phenomenal, right? He's my idol. Like, he's the player that made me fall in love with football at a young age. So I emulate my game on him. So I try and be him on the pitch. But like with nowadays, it's like, you got kids that are coming up. They're like 17, 18, and they're incredible, right? And they got the world at their feet, mate. And I'm thinking to myself, bloody hell, man, I am definitely getting old. Like, this is ridiculous. I've grown up watching football. Now that you get 1 year older every year, it's just like, bloody hell, these kids are getting younger and younger, and they're getting amazing, and it makes you feel bloody old. Like, the other day, I was playing football, and we've actually got a diverse group of people. So we've got everyone ranging from like 40, touching 40, maybe just over 40, to as young as 17, 18. And when I hear these kids speak, right, I kind of forget. When you play football, you're just a body, you're just playing. When you're actually talking to people, right, that's when you kind of figure out, like, bloody hell, you're way too young. Like, this is ridiculous. You won't even get half the references I'm talking about. Like, I swear to God, I was speaking to one of them. I was like, yeah, in my car I got so many albums. Like, you remember, like, I got this CD. He goes, what's a CD? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, how old are you? He goes,
no.
he goes, I'm 17.
No.
I'm like, oh my God, that means you were born like when CDs were probably just fading out. Like you are an MP3 baby. Do you know what I mean? Like that's all you know.
Yeah.
Digital. Like you wouldn't even know. If I showed you a record, you'd probably be like, what that's a funny looking Frisbee. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh man, that makes me feel proper old. Jesus.
I had the same thing with my kids a little while back. I was talking about, what was I talking about? Oh no, I was clearing out the loft. And I had some old VHS movies that I'd kept, some of the classics like Star Wars and things like that. Yeah. And my daughter was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, but it's a video." It's like, "Well, what do you do with it?" You know, it's the size of a book. Yeah, I'm just like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. You put it into a VCR player. What's a VCR player?
Yeah, and it started a whole conversation about like you watch this thing. It's like what. And you have to rewind it back to the beginning. What?
Yeah, you have to press up. Yeah, you have to wait to rewind. What? Oh my God, man! Honestly, it's crazy. Do you know what? I do feel like I don't know how to say this. I feel like our generation, and I consider you in our generation side because obviously you are a few years older than me. I don't think you're very like too much older than me, but we've kind of seen technology progress from what it was to what it is now. So I feel like we're in a very kind of a very special kind of place because we've seen the transition from something quite primitive to where we are now technological wise. It's like amazing to see, but kids that are born the last 10 15 years, you got to remember they haven't seen any of that stuff, so that stuff is alien to them, like big time. Like when my dad sometimes talks about 8-tracks and stuff like that, that was way before my time. But like that's probably the same thing that your kids, when they're saying to you, that's probably the exact same feeling. Like you show them a CD, they'll be like, "What's this?"
It's even worse than that. My daughter yesterday, right? This goes to show how far technology's gone. Yeah. You go back, I don't know really when phones took off, but let's just say you go back sort of 25, 30-ish years, there was still common sense in the world. I caught my daughter yesterday looking up on YouTube inspiration for not how to make a sandwich, but inspiration for making a sandwich. And I'm like, look, you've only got 5 ingredients in the fridge. Yeah, you've got butter, cheese, ham, peanut butter and something else. It's like,
go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you looking up YouTube videos for inspiration for sandwiches? That's what it is. Like, what are you doing?
That's where we're at now, mate. Honestly, technology is incredible because you can learn how to do everything from your living room nowadays, isn't it? Like, what topic is there that you can't find on YouTube now on how to? You type in how to on YouTube, you can learn something within 5 minutes, whereas before it was like you either need to learn it from someone that knows how to do it, like firsthand, read it in a book for theory, and then try out practically. But nowadays, mate, honestly, like you can learn skills that you're probably never meant to learn on YouTube for a click of a finger. It's crazy, man, when you think about it.
It was the same conversation I had with my daughter after I'd spent 15 minutes taking the piss, as a good father should.
Yeah,
and then
100%.
Pointed out.
Yeah, 100%.
I then spent the next 20 minutes ranting about the fact that she's got the entirety of the human knowledge, human history, just on the internet at her fingertips. Right?
At
she
your
could
fingertips.
literally learn anything that's in the public domain. And she's looking up inspiration for a cheese sandwich. And I'm like, oh God.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I mean, it's scary. It is scary, isn't it? It is scary. I don't know what it is, man. It's like the reliance on technology now is unbelievable, man. Like you've seen it more than most, man. The kids, they can Google, YouTube, anything. When we were kids, we'd have to pick up a massive encyclopedia just to learn something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, a big part of your life would have been built on intuition because you wouldn't have had all the internet. So you would encounter a problem, not that making a sandwich is a problem, but you're like, I'm hungry, what's in the fridge? Don't even think about it, job done, right? And that's just the groundwork, and then you build up from that. But I heard the craziest thing when I was scrolling down my news feeds the other day. So if you heard of, there's a new TikTok trend. Here's one on you, Jay. Right?
Okay.
So the new TikTok trend, this woman was saying that she'd started going out for walks with no tech. So like no headphones, not watching her phone, no nothing. And how much she'd really struggled to get past the first 2 or 3 minutes of just walking without all this tech around her, and how much she was like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was sort of internally panicking about the fact that she didn't have her phone on or anything. Right? Now she's saying to all of her followers, just put down your tech and go for a walk. And I'm like, what? That's just what people have done for the last however millions of years of human evolution. Have we got to the point where walking without your phone is a new thing? But they've rediscovered walking.
Yeah, no, that's exactly that. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I saw something a few days ago where obviously it's definitely a kid, right? They said something like, "Oh, maybe we should have an idea where, it's like a podcast, but you're just with your friends, but you just don't record it." And someone said, "Bro just figured out hanging out with friends." Do you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine?
Mental.
That is crazy, right? Oh, man. Crazy. Right, guys, and that is a wrap for episode 4. We really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again for listening to myself and Sai ramble on about life in general, observational comedy. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks for listening, and we'll try not to break any furniture next time.
We'll try. No promises. We'll try. Thanks again, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the JTS 51 podcast. For more epic content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future episodes.